Now, right now, North Korea is shocking the world by defying the UN Security Council and testing nuclear missiles. President Obama says it's of grave concern. And here to tell us just how concerned we really need to be is ABC News anchor Bob Woodruff. Now, Bob, over the weekend, North Korea detonated a nuclear bomb underground. And now word comes overnight that they also reportedly tested 2 more short-range missiles. Now, it sounds very scary. Should we be concerned about this? Is it scary stuff? Are they blowing it out of proportion?
Well, here's a country that we don't really have a lot of sense of. We don't really know exactly what they're doing. Right. This is a huge nuclear bomb in the sense that we don't know exactly how nuclear it is, but they believe it's 1.5 kilotons. We think back in 1945 in our country, right, that was 20 kilotons. So this is 20 versus 1.5. So it's relatively small. Okay. But the missiles, of course, is the other fear, right? Because that's one that could literally reach the United States, Alaska, nearby. Okay. That one went about 80 miles, mostly towards Japan. Right. And so far they haven't dropped it on another country, but certainly we've got fear.
What happened in the past 2 weeks? I mean, because the administration's special envoy for disarmament came back from talks saying that, and I quote, "I think everyone is feeling relatively relaxed about where we are at this point in the process. There is no sense of crisis." That was 2 weeks ago. So what happens? I mean, some are saying, okay, there's this idea of a soft administration right now, soft take on these acts in the world. Is this opening the door for, I don't know, these acts of sort of defiance?
What would be a hard take on it? To bomb them back? To just, what are you supposed to do?
Well, the hard one's gone back and forth. You saw under Bill Clinton during his days, he went relatively light on them to try to supply them with power and food, which they need energy. There's a country that needs it so desperately. And then that shifted more to aggressive against them to try to basically lower them to the point where they need us desperately to save the country. And that didn't really work, and now they're back to much more
Is that
aggressive.
Because of the leader, Kim Jong-il? Is that
Kim Jong-il, he had a stroke. We believe it was a stroke back in October. So now the question is, who's going to take over from him?
His son is doing...
his third oldest son, who's about 26 years old, Kim Jong-un, is now believed to be the one that possibly may take over next.
But isn't that the reason they're saying that he might have detonated this bomb to show the world we're still tough, even though I just had a stroke and I may not be here?
Well, it's very interesting. One that's always been the power side within North Korea has been the military. And the military has largely run the place. And so maybe as the head, Kim Jong-il, starts to descend, then maybe they're taking over more. They want to do something more military. But but the real reason for this, is everybody believes, is they need to improve their country in terms of their energy and their money. There's so much poverty there. We had some of the only access to North Korea. In Pyongyang, right in the capital, they don't even have traffic lights because they can't afford electricity to run the traffic. So they need something.
Well, Bob, I mean, the United States has, the United Nations has been against them doing this. They've done sanctions. So what is going to work if the sanctions don't work? What else can they do?
You need especially China and Russia to be stronger on this. China, which is right next to it, they're the most powerful, certainly within Asia. Russia is very important. The other ones in the sixth team is Japan and South Korea. Right. But if you can get China to be more trying to control them, then that's what's really needed.
But does China feel threatened, as they should?
Well, it's interesting with China. They certainly have somewhat of a threat or a fear about what would happen in terms of an attack. But really the biggest one for them, if North Korea was able to fall apart and the people flee as refugees across the border, then China is going to change significantly. That's one reason why they're not trying to do Korea now.
To your question.
Bob, also speaking of that, you do have a special coming out about Planet Earth. So what's that special
Earth
about?
2100. This is, if you look, in so many ways, this is the worst possible scenario. What happens if we don't do something about the environment right now? We need to control our energy. And if that doesn't happen, what's going to happen by 2015? 2030, 2050, 2070, what's the world going to be like? So this is really to drive people to wake up to what's possibly happening, and then also to get us all to try to improve this.
There are still people denying that we have a problem. Go ahead.
The thing that you were, just before we go, the thing that you were mentioning about China in terms of China taking a good look, when people are able to flee from Korea to get to China, they are oftentimes sent back. So I think we have to maybe also sit down with them and say, okay, what's your deal? Because this is all coming down to economics.
You know, that's
what
right.
it's coming down to.
You know, China, they do. Some are able to go back into North Korea, which is the most drastic, worse.
Well, we have to go, and I hate leaving you, but
Didn't bring my kids, because then you kill kids.
I know. I don't kill kids. I love children. I love children. And you'll find that out, because when we come back, we're coming back with the Little Mermaid performance.